Bismillah. Hello, people. Another day, another video. I am pretty excited again. I am back again. And today, let's just talk about the difference between man and a woman, the difference between men and women. You know what? I was just reading a book called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. Let me just show it to you. The purpose of showing to you the book is just to make you believe, it's just to confirm that I'm not lying. I'm actually reading this book and I have read 30 pages today. And positively, inshallah, each day I will be reading more of such pages and I will try to complete it within 10 days, I guess. Within 10 days, I guess, because every day I would be reading it for 1 hour. So in my mind, I have calculated that it will take me 10 days to complete this book. Anyway, so I was just reading this book called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. And this book is a very useful and something you can look out for, something from which you can take a valuable insight, something from which you can draw a lot of good stuff that will help you in your future, in your life, in your relationships, in understanding the opposite gender, in understanding yourself better. So the title of my video is Men and Women Are Different. And this is indeed true because men are different, women are different. They both operate with a different mindset. They both have different feelings, different emotions, and the way they react to things is absolutely different from each other. So it is a book that tells you, it is a book that explains to you all the kinds of the differences between men and women. For example, the first chapter of the book, the second chapter of the book says that when women tell men that, they have this and this problem, they have this and this stress, and they are facing this and this issue, then men have a tendency that they come out as a Mr. Fix-It kind of a person, and rather than listening to them with empathy, they kind of offer a solution, which indeed is not a perfect thing to do in such a scenario. Why? Because women don't necessarily want a solution at that particular moment. Rather, they want somebody to whom they can share their problems, share their issues, share their experiences, share their daily struggles, and they just want him to listen. They just want to be heard. That's it. They don't want a solution at that particular moment. Maybe later they want it, but at that particular moment, they just don't want any solution. What they want is only to be heard, to be listened to, and they want the other person, the person to whom they are sharing their experiences, they must listen to them with empathy, with sincerity, without interruptions, and without offering a solution, because they don't want it, they just want to be heard. So this is the first chapter that was quite enlightening, quite quite useful, because I was also someone, I am that kind of a person who tends to follow this pattern. Not always, but yeah, sometimes I do. And this book kind of gave me a sense of introspecting, a sense of reflection that, oh my God, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I need to fix something. Maybe I need to re-evaluate myself. Maybe I need to change my approach towards the opposite gender, towards my wife, and so that my relationship could be better, could improve my tuning with the person, with my partner could improve, and um, we could strengthen the roots of a relationship. I mean, these small things act as a great way to strengthen the core of your relationship. So, for example, that I said that in the second chapter, they tell you that a man comes out as someone who can fix somebody's problem especially when the person does not need it. So rather than offering a solution, rather than being rational and material and practical, he should be more emotional, he should be more empathetic, and this would highly benefit him and his relationship to strengthen and to flourish in a long period of time. Also, in the second chapter itself, it also describes the tendency of women that they form a home improvement committee where they want their partners to act in a certain way, to behave in a certain way that their partners resist, and they don't want to hear it. They just don't want to listen to them. Why? Because this approach of women gives them a sense of incompetency, a sense of belief that the women, that their partners, that their wives are considering them as incompetent, as someone who can't solve a problem by himself. And as a natural tendency of men, he feels offended. He feels that, oh my God, it is an attack on his masculinity. It is an attack on his ability to solve problems, because at the end of the day, a man feels satisfied and a man feels fulfilled when he is appreciated and when he is considered as someone who can solve problems, who can deal with the issues, who is competent, who is skilled, and who can provide results, quick results. So if you will tell him or you will guide him that, oh my God, you aren't doing this thing right, you should do it like this, or maybe you should take somebody's help, maybe you should do in a different way. All these phrases, all these lines will not be something pleasing to the ears of the person to whom you're referring to. So rather, you should not tell him that he shouldn't do things like this, and you should not be telling him that he shouldn't be doing things like that. Rather, you should let him do whatever he wants to do for that moment, and you can delay or you can prolong your advice to a point where that situation no more arises, and you can delay giving your advice to at a certain time later to that stage. Let that moment happen, and then after a couple of days, maybe after some time, you can tell him in a nice way that whatever you are feeling, you can convey to him, you can communicate to him, and this will tell him that he is not the problem, rather he is the way through which the problem can be solved. So there are two approaches: that a woman is considering the man himself as the problem, or the second situation is where the woman is considering man as a means to solve the problem. Okay, you yourself is not a problem, you yourself can solve the problem. So the problem exists, you are not the problem, but with you the problem will get solved. The approaches are different, so the women must act differently in such a scenario. This is the insights just of the first chapter. of the first two chapters, and there is a lot more fortune and a lot more valuable stuff awaiting for me in the upcoming chapters. It has got, I think, 13 to 14 chapters. Each chapter is filled with a lot of useful information and a lot of useful content that is really helpful if you are in a relationship, and if you are struggling with your partner, with your relationships, or even if you aren't, then also it is not a bad idea to read this book, because you will learn a lot from this book. And reading alone itself is a very great habit. Reading alone in itself is a magnificent, a very learning oriented habit that if you install in your personality, then it will give you great results in your future. And you will not only learn a lot from that particular habit, you will also be you will also be gaining a lot in terms of your respect, in terms of money, in terms of materials. If you want materials, who does not want materials? We all want materialistic life. At the end of the day, there is no harm in enjoying the comfort, the leisure that the life has in store for you, if you deserve it. So thank you so much. I hope you like this video. I hope my experiences, my knowledge, which is very, very, very tiny, very little, but whatever it is, I just want to share with you my experiences. Whatever I do in the day, I I like to share with you all, so that you can also learn something or the other, and so that I can also learn something from you as well, because there is no exchange one-sided. There is always a two-sided exchange, and this is a proper win-win situation that we must always seek. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Love you all. Adios.